Hey, what's going on? Cartex Ross here. Man, today just keep getting better. Lots of good news today. I'm so excited. And it's going to sound pretty simple and basic to many of you, but it's a big leap for myself. And I am so happy. Today, I was approved for an American Express card. For those of you that don't know, um, I've been a very poor steward with my money. I make a lot of money, but one of the biggest things that I had a problem with was paying my bills on time. Not that I didn't have the money. Credit just, it was just never anything I really concerned myself with. Most of the stuff that we got, we've always paid cash for it. But as long as that credit thing loomed over my head, there were just going to be certain things I just could not get. And, while trying to grow my business, there were times when lines of credit would have benefited me greatly. And I didn't respect money. I didn't respect credit. I didn't respect the idea of paying people their money back on time in a timely manner. And I paid the price for that. When I went to go buy a car, I paid more money for that car because my credit was bad. When we moved around and lived in different cities, we always had to pay extra money on deposits, security deposits, to be able to move it. So having bad credit costs you money. And, so about 3 years ago, I finally made the decision that I was just going to get my act together, pay all my bills, clean up my credit, pay off all my creditors and debtors, and just make on-time payments. And man, it has finally, the hard work has finally paid off. My credit score has gone up drastically. And, just a year ago, just applying for a regular credit card was a challenge. And many of them had to get secured credit cards just to start building things up. Ford Motor Company, about 2.5 years ago, gave me a line of credit to buy a car. I set that up on auto pay, paid that on time every single month. And, when I paid that off, they gave me another car. Didn't have to pay anything down at all. They let me walk into the dealership, pick out whatever I want. Credit's policy, Ford Motor Company's policy was pretty much, you take care of us and do us right, we'll give you a vehicle. We literally picked up the phone. Our truck broke down on the way to Georgia, visiting my parents over the Christmas holidays. And we picked up the phone, called them and told them we're on the way. We need a car and we want to get a Ford Flex. They did all the stuff over the phone and told us that when we come in the next morning, we just come in and put our names on the paper, our signature, and we drove out with a truck. Man, I felt so good. That was the first time I was able to do something like that. I know now it wasn't easy. I had some challenges. I struggled with just paying my bills on time. So it was a process. It took me about 2.5, 3 years to work through all of that. And now I'm a better person for it. I'm more disciplined. I'm more respectful. If you don't get, for those of you that are dealing with credit challenges, at some point you're going to have to face that demon head on and work it out. If you don't work it out, it's going to always come back to haunt you. So now I'm at a place now where I'm trying to grow and expand my business. We got a big old office down here at Amelia Island, and I have employees. And as we start to grow, there's going to be bigger expenses that we're going to incur, and I'll be able to go into a bank and get a line of credit to continue to grow at the rate that we need to grow. And and wealthy folks, they leverage credit, they leverage debt to work in their favor. And so now I'm finally able to get myself into a position where I can start doing that. So man, for those of you that are dealing with credit issues, there's no easy way. There's no way of just trying to game the system and trying to dispute stuff and hoping the stuff is going to fall off. And if it does fall off, if you try and rig the system and rig the game, you know, guess what's going to happen? Until you fix the bad habit, the problem is going to continue to come about. It's never going to go away. I'm in a different place right now. And again, it took me about 3 years. It didn't happen overnight. I struggled. Me and my wife, we clashed. You know, sometimes she would do some things that just, to me, I felt like, man, are you trying to sabotage what I'm doing? But in reality, it's not that she was sabotaging anybody. She had some bad habits, the same habits I had. You know, at some point, one of us had to become responsible, and we just had to kind of sit down and lay down the law and just say, look, this is what's going to happen, and we ain't going to do this. And no matter how bad or how, you know, whatever, this is not what's going to happen. You know, so, I mean, we lived on a budget. I gave myself a budget, and we stuck to the plan. And I'm going to tell you, man, it don't matter how much money you make. There were some years where I made $500,000 free and clear. But by the end of the year, I was still broke. There's $2,000, $3,000 in the bank. You know, these habits don't go away until you start changing. This idea that, oh, if I can just make a few extra dollars, if I can just get to $100,000, that all your problems are going to go away. No, they're not going to go away because you're still there. Those habits don't go away. And if you don't believe me, just look back over the last 5 years of your own life. Chances are you're making more money now than you did 5 years ago. You're making more money now than you did 10 years ago. But when you look at your current situation, it's still the same. We just never really been disciplined in managing our money. You have to tell your money what to do every single month. And when I get some time, I'm gonna write up on a whiteboard one of the things that we do in terms of budgeting and allocating our dollars and telling it where to go. Now I have a bigger savings. I have money set aside for investing in different stuff. I have money set aside for the business. I have money set aside for clothes. You know, every month, every single week, there's money that goes into this clothing account that's only used for buying clothes for myself and the kids. There's an entertainment account. Money goes in that account every single week. There's an account for savings. There's an account for investing. There's an account for groceries. There's an account for what else? For car and gas expenses. There's an account for our credit card bills. I mean, there's an account for every single thing, and every single week, a little bit of money go in each one. And, you know, in time, we were able to just knock all that stuff out and save money and have an emergency savings and all of that stuff. So I'm going to talk about that and share our formula for what we do there. So I'm going to stop rambling because that's all I'm doing right now. I'm so excited for that American Express card. It showed me today that hard work pays off. Nothing is easy in this life. You know, like I said, we made the decision to travel. And again, we had to make the decision, and we had to be in the position to be able to do it. All the hard work prior has put us in the position where we can travel and go abroad. But you have to make the decision and start setting up some plans. So that's about it, man. I'm gonna get on out of here. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll be back soon with the next update.